Don't give up the ending, man. It's a good ending. Next up, we have Carol Mazagimba reading a piece of nonfiction that she chose to submit. One of the first pieces was immediately picked up by our nonfiction editor. So let's give her a hand. You want to sit down?
I think I can stand. My voice fluctuates, and if I find that I can't read anymore, I do have an understudy in the audience.
Carol,
Get closer to the mic.
get much closer to the mic.
Okay.
But don't eat it.
Okay, how's that?
Good.
Okay. This is actually a chapter out of my memoir that I'm working on. I've been working on for 20 years. It's called The Decision. Quarantined, like a leper, I sat on my narrow metal frame bed, curtains pulled around my cubicle, rosary beads twined between my fingers. I had orders not to speak to anyone, to stay put and leave the curtains drawn. I was scared. Just 18 years old, and already I had made a giant mess of my life. It was late afternoon. The familiar rhythm of convent life was going on without me, lest I contaminate my fellow postulants. The last class of the day at our tiny private Virginia college was over. I knew the drill. Scurry upstairs to the dorm, wash hands and face, remove bonnet and veil, quickly comb through hair plastered with sweat, check habit for stray chalk dust, see if there's a letter from home on the bed. If there is, put it in your pocket to read later. Then hurry downstairs to help prepare the refectory for evening meal. I heard my fellow postulants, my sisters, carrying on as if nothing were amiss. They knew I was behind the curtains, but I didn't blame them for pretending not to notice. Without a doubt, they were forbidden from acknowledging me in any way. Only hours earlier on that day, October 18th, 1965, I stood before Mother Flavia, stuttering and stumbling my way through asking for more time to be sure of my vocation. What I really wanted was to walk away and never look back. Instead, I took the mealy-mouth route and requested a leave of absence for maybe 6 months or so to think it over. In trying to avoid her wrath, I only incited her disgust. Her ramrod straight posture and piercing little black eyes told me she wasn't buying it. She saw through my sorry attempt to placate her. In some ways, she knew me better than I knew myself. Eyes downcast, staring at my black Girl Scout Oxfords, I hoped to convince her this was no frivolous notion. Mother, I've been praying really hard about my vocation. I looked up to see her face unmoving, as if it were made of plaster. I want to give myself to God, but how can I make that choice when I don't really know any other life? I mean, I really can't make a commitment to this life when I don't know what I'm leaving behind. I mean, I don't have a comparison. Mother Flavia let me ramble on, her masked face intact, as if she were secretly enjoying the spectacle. I lied. I don't want to leave the order. I just needed about 6 months at home to clear my mind. From Mother Flavia, followed by an uncomfortable silence. Then, once you leave, there will be no coming back. She might as well have added amen, because next she reached for her black desk phone, gave it a little shove in my direction, and said, "Call your parents." So that was it. She wouldn't even try to dissuade me. I felt her contempt waft toward me like a snaking plume of black smoke. "You'll leave on the train tonight," she said. Concealed under my habit, a floor-length black jumper, long-sleeve black blouse, elbow-length cape, and black veil, my skin was wet with perspiration. My clammy fingers trembled as I dialed my parents' phone number, digit by digit, slowly rotating the dial and watching it spin back down 11 times. Busy. If I had been allowed to say shit, that would have been the moment for it. The small room felt even smaller the longer I stood before Mother's desk. She was giving me the silent treatment. Desperate to break the leaden stillness, I blurted out, "I'll bake you a German chocolate cake and send it." I knew that was her favorite. One of the few times I saw her smile was on St. Francis feast day, when a dessert-serving postulant set a generous square of German chocolate cake in front of her. I guess she was in no mood for cake. "You know what your problem is? Your faith is weak," she answered. "Sisters must have spiritual strength, strong faith, and not give up so easily." Give up so easily? If only she knew the nights I spent prostrate on the cold tile floor, praying instead of sleeping, pleading with God to give me guidance in my confusion, asking forgiveness for every bad thing I had ever done, every uncharitable word I had ever spoken, every hypocritical act I had ever performed. I knew well enough that I was a wretch. I dialed again. My mother answered. "Mama, I'm coming home." We had a short conversation, mostly about what time the train would arrive in Temple. My parents would have to drive 2 hours from Austin. I listened hard for some hint of how my mother felt about the news, but it was all business. My body felt as if it were disintegrating like paper mache in the rain. I thought I might faint. But there was no time to fall apart. Mother Flavia summarily escorted me to the basement where the trunks and valises were stored. On the stairwell going down, I reflexively scrunched up my skirt so the hem wouldn't brush against the steps, something we did to preserve the fabric, keep it from fraying and needing repair, or worse, replacement. Mother kept her eyes on me while I retrieved the clothes I had worn on the day of my acceptance into the novitiate.
Our next reader is Flora Salcedo from here in Austin. She was born on the Texas-Mexico border. She's a computer programmer transitioning to her true passion of writing, and she's having a really good year this year. I know she won the Writers League of Texas manuscript contest here recently and got some interest from agents. So we'll probably be hearing a lot more from her. Right now you get to hear her read.
This is page 20. And it's a personal essay, so true story. I always wanted to say that. It's called The Exchange. The thrill beat out the guilt. The store my mother always took me to for anything from housewares to our pet goldfish was called Wynn's. Wynn's was a tiny version of today's Walmart located in the Mexican-American hood of my city. I chose it because it also sold toys. 1 mile is a far distance for any 8-year-old to be walking on their own. But my best friend was out of town, and I needed to do this now. I usually spent the entire Sunday at my friend's house, so I was confident that my mom wouldn't realize I was out trekking to a faraway place. Why nobody stopped an 8-year-old girl who probably looked more like 4 due to my short stature is beyond me, even if it was 1987. On the way there, strange men with questionable gazes made the voyage extra uncomfortable. But after about an hour of walking and frozen toes, I stumbled through the glass door of Wynn's. The store smelled familiar, like enclosed plastic, an animal. I stopped at the gerbils and hamsters first, ogling the burrowing little furry creatures with delight. Then I strolled by the fish tanks on my way to the toy section, sliding my fingertips against the chilled glass. The toy prices made me count my money over and over to make sure that it really was only $4 I managed to save up for a year. A small section with plastic figurine men made my day. Finally, items within my budget. The action figures looked very boyish and cool to me, so I quickly picked one out and headed to the cash register. The cashier lady informed me I was short by some cents. Taxes. I wanted to slap my forehead. Instead, I stood there frozen and confused, not having a clue what to do next. Suddenly, the lady was handing me the toy and telling me to go. The man in line behind me had paid the difference. Remembering the uneasy walk to Wynn's, I sprinted all the way home, my heart racing and palms sweating. When I arrived, I rushed to my room and found some pretty construction paper I had brought home from school, and haphazardly wrapped the little lucha libre man, a Mexican wrestler wearing a red mask and bikini-style underwear. I exhaled a chirpy hump of triumph at my wrapped bundle with scraggly edges and being held together by only one piece of tape. I hid him in my backpack and started to count down the minutes until tomorrow. With a giant smile on my face, I tossed under the sheets some 100 times until my sister hissed at me to quit it, and I finally fell asleep. Earlier that afternoon, however, whenever I had strolled by my mom, the guilt had ballooned to the point of wondering if I should just go return the small underwear-wearing plastic man. But for weeks, the simmering in me grew. At first, it was the paper snowflakes taped to the walls or hanging from the ceiling on the hallways at school. Snowflakes I meticulously helped make. Then it was the fuzzy white stuff that was supposed to look like snow lining the tops of teachers' desks. This was followed by the glitter on drawings, on desks, on everything, even my waist-length dark hair. A winter wonderland slowly grew inside Douglas Elementary like it did every December, and my excitement started to bubble over. Smells of cinnamon, tamales, and menudo filled the air in my hometown of El Paso, the westernmost city of Texas. The smiles got warmer as the end of December approached. Even the usually frowning faculty handed out wishful salutations of Happy Holidays and Feliz Navidad. I didn't fully understand what Christmas was, where it came from, or what it meant for others. Frankly, does any 8-year-old? All I knew is that I was eager, ready for the magic of it all. The next morning, I guiltily ran out of the house earlier than usual to meet my friend so we could walk to school together. Soon, I relaxed and sprung a hop in my step the rest of the way there. At school, I could hardly sit still, and finally, after a couple of hours, the Christmas gift exchange started. I proudly handed my crumpled bundle to the little boy who was my exchange partner. His dirty fingers had dirt crusted under his nails. He smelled, and his heavily suntanned skin had white streaks of dry skin. I hoped that his hands had been clean when he touched whatever it was he was giving me. He took my bundle and removed the wrapping in one move. His eyes lit up, and my heart bounced with joy. He zoomed to a corner of the room, absorbed with the toy. I stood there immobilized, memories of last year's pain resurfacing. Last year, during the exchange, I held out my hands in anticipation of the doll a classmate, a little girl, had brought me. My teacher, a usually stern figure with a stiff voice, had cut in front and interfered. But her frown was gentle, her face scrunched up, and her voice a soft tone I had never heard. "I'm so sorry, my dear. You can't receive a gift because your mommy said you couldn't participate. She just told me yesterday afternoon. Since you don't have a gift for the exchange," she gulped, "you won't be getting a gift. I'm very sorry." It was a religion thing. I knew well. With pain in my heart, I had watched the teacher put away the doll and then pull out the wrapped gift from her desk for the little girl. I stood numb as the kids played, laughed with glee, and paraded around, showing off their gifts to one another. And read the rest.